Okay, we're going to do a video now on composite shapes, and I think you'll find this really, really fun as we work through some really fun problems. Okay, basically you know everything you need to know about how to solve these kind of problems. A couple little hints, little things to remember. When you find the perimeter of a composite shape, well, first of all, a composite shape is made up of more than one shape. It's 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 shapes put together. Okay, so to find the perimeter of a composite shape, you have to add up all the sides. One at a time. That says one at a time. You want to be very, very careful, one at a time, and be very careful, okay? So for example, if you want to get the perimeter of this shape, with it, which is a square and a triangle put together, you have the perimeter of the square plus the perimeter of the triangle, but remember, you got to separate out that side, which is one side of a square, and it's also one side of the triangle. So there's other ways to do this, but I'm just trying to give you a general way to think about it, and then we'll go into more different ways as we go. One thing you can do is find a start place. Usually I like just to start in the upper left-hand corner, where we usually start things. If I go around, well, let me do it this way first. The perimeter of the square, you know, is 4 times the side, so that'd be 4 times 6. Okay, 4 times the side, plus, well, the perimeter of a triangle, there's no formula, you just have to add up all the sides. If I add up all these sides, I would say 6 plus 5 plus 5. So I'd say 6 plus 5 plus 5. Now I have to subtract. I have to subtract this 6 that I had in here, because I really only had 3 sides for my square. So I subtract a 6. I'd also have to subtract that same 6, because I included it in here. Okay, so after doing all that, this would be 24 plus 6, well, I'm going to do minus 6 plus 6 and knock that out. So I have 10 minus 6 is really 4. So 10 minus 6 is 4, 24 plus 4 is 28. That's one way. Another way is simply just to mark where you start and walk around it. Okay, so I'd go 6, I'd put 6 here, 6 plus 5 plus 5, and I can just do that in my head and say 10, plus 6 plus 6, well that's 12. And let's see if I get the same 28, we'll see. Okay, 6 plus 2 is 8, and 10 plus 10 is 20, so I still get 28 as I should, because they should both be the same. And you might want to even do that, like do it 2 different ways to check yourself. Make sure you're getting it right for the perimeter. Okay, to find the total area of the 2 or 3 or 4 combined shapes, you add each shape's area. Now sometimes we're also going to find the area of shaded regions, which in this case we'd subtract, but we'll talk about that as we get through this. So let's find the area of that same shape, okay? Well, I got one thing I love to do, and I think it's really helpful, is to just write a general equation for the area. Perimeter, you don't have to do it. I did it here just to kind of show you, but definitely for area, it'll help you so much to write one general statement about what am I trying to do. You're trying to find the total area. Well, that's composed of the area of a square plus the area of a triangle. And then you can break it down. Area of a square is side squared. That's an S. Looks like a 5, but it really is S squared, which in this case is 6 times 6. Area of a triangle is 1/2 the base times the height, as we remember. 1/2 the base. The base is, really, if you turn this triangle up, this is 6, and then your height is 4. So you work all that out, you get 48 for your total area. Okay? All right, so now let's do a bunch of examples, and then we're going to do more in class, and it'll be really, really fun. I think you'll enjoy it. Because each one's different. Each one's just presents a unique challenge, and you can solve it any creative way that you like, in a sense. Okay, so to find the area of this shape, now this is a rectangle and a triangle. It's kind of like what we just had, but a little bit different. So you have the area of the rectangle plus the area of the triangle is the total area. Okay, I went ahead and did the formulas, length times width, plus 1/2 the base times the height, and then I just plugged in the numbers. So the length of this is 20, and the width is 5, or 5 and 20, doesn't matter, plus 1/2 the base. The base of the triangle would be that part right here, which would be 20, because if this is 20, then this is 20. Okay, hopefully that's very clear. This is 20 also. So that'd be 20, and then the height here, I don't know if you can see it, but that's 3. So that's times 3. So I work out the math, and I get 130. Okay, so now we're going to do a shape where we have to find the perimeter and the area. And the original shape, I'll try to get this so you can kind of see it. The original shape is just this upside down sort of L-shaped, or P, or whatever you want to call it, shape, okay? So to find the perimeter, I'm just going to start right here, okay? I'm going to go 10 plus 6, 10 plus 6 plus, well, this has to be, I don't know what this is originally, but if I think about it, look at this line is horizontal. The other line that's horizontal in here is 10, and the other line is 2. So if you look at it carefully, you can see that this line here is really this 10 with this 2 cut off, right? So 10 minus 2 is 8. And this it says is 4, this it says is 2, and then we have another problem. We don't know what this one is. Well, again, if we look at the horizontal lines in our picture, well, this whole thing is 6, and then this is 4, so this piece would be as if that 6 had 4 cut off of it, which would leave you with the 2. Okay? And when you add all that up, you get 32. Okay, then to get the area, I did it 2 different ways. For the first one, I did the area of the total, that's T is total, would be the area of the big rectangle minus plus the area of the small one. So the area of the big is going to be not 10 times 6, but remember this is the big one. Okay, this one here, and that's not 10. This one, remember, was 8. So it's 8 times 6, or 6 times 8, plus the area of this little square, rectangle, whatever it is 2 times 2, and that I get 52. Another way to think about it is you get the area of the total would be the area of this big, I put dotted, however you want to say it, I went ahead and dotted the whole, I outlined the whole thing, that whole thing, and that's 10 times 6, minus this square. Okay, that's another way to think about it. And that square is 4 times 2, which is 8. So 60 minus 8 is 52, which is the same answer I got when I added the two shapes. Okay, we'll work out this more in class, but hope that helps a little bit. Okay, here's another odd shape. Here you have a, looks like a rectangle with a triangle cut out of it. Okay, so to find the area, I'm not worried about the perimeter right now, just the area. So the area of the total is exactly what I just said. It's the area of the whole thing minus that triangle cut out. So that's how I'm going to do it. You could do it the other way, and I can show you that later if you like to see it, but there's another way to add. You have to add 3 different shapes for this one to work out. But let's do the easy one, which is 2 shapes. So the whole area of the outside is 10 times 4. That's the whole thing. Then if we cut out that triangle, let's see what happens. Triangle is 1/2 the base times the height. We know the height is 3. We're trying to figure this out. Well, if this is 4, I know this wasn't drawn to scale, so sorry about that. If this is 4 and this is 2 and the other horizontal line is 10, so I already used up 4 of it, already used up 2 of it, so this has to be what? Well, 10 minus 4 is 6 and 6 minus 2 is 4, so this has to be 4. And it's kind of good to see. You don't want to assume it's good as it doesn't even look like 4 really, and that's okay because you got to go by what the math is, not by what the picture shows. Okay, so then you do that out. The 10 times 4 is 40. Minus the 1/2 the base, which is 4, and the height, which is 3, and that's going to end up being 6, so 40 minus 6 is 34. Okay, another example, you want to find the perimeter and the area of this shape, which again is another rectangle plus a triangle. So to find the perimeter, we just start, we go 8, we go 3.6, we go plus 2, and then this must be 8. If that's 8, that's 8, and plus 3, and we get 24.6. Then I'm going to do 2 ways to get the area. Well, the area could be the area of the rectangle plus the area of the triangle. So again, it's going to be 3 times 8 for the area of the rectangle. Remember that a triangle is 1/2 the base is 2, the height is 3, not 3.6. 3.6 is this distance, but 3, if this is 3, we know that this is 3 since this is a rectangle. Okay, and we do all the math, you get 27. To do it the other way, you could do the outline, you could do the area of the whole thing, the big one on the outside, so to speak, which is going to be not 8 times 3, this whole thing is 10 times 3. Okay, so be careful. Minus this triangle. Well, this triangle doesn't have the same area as this triangle, but just to make sure in case you don't see it, it's 1/2 2, the base is 2. If this is 2, this will be 2 up here, and then the height will still be 3. Okay, and when you do the math, again, it's 27. Okay, another one on this one. This is a different one. It's got a half circle plus a rectangle. So to get the total area, we add the rectangle plus the circle. Half the circle. So here we have 25 times 45 for the whole rectangle. And then I think I forgot to cut this in half. I did forget to cut it in half. So this is going to be, if this whole thing is 30, the radius is 15. Okay, so we know that a circle is pi r squared. I forgot to do it times 2. I really should put a half circle in here, a semicircle. So it's going to be the area of a circle divided by 2. And I forgot to divide it by 2. So this is incorrect. So we're just going to have to do it like this. So that's 1125. And then 15 squared is 225. So it's 225 divided by 2 times pi. And we're just going to leave it like that for right now. So that, and sometimes you'll have the answer as a whole number, then a pi number. We could figure that out. It's going to be 112.5. Is that right? So that's what 11 and then 2.5. Yeah, pi. So you could just put it, isn't that kind of funny? It's 1125 plus 11.2.5 times pi would be one way to represent the answer of that. Okay, I got one more section here, and I've got just a few more examples. Okay, now these are going to be shaded regions, all right? And we're going to start again with example number 1. This time I have a rectangle and I have a half circle cut out of it. So here I have the area of the shaded region, put S here, area of the rectangle minus the area of the half circle. This time I remembered to divide by 2. Okay, the area of the whole rectangle is 5 times 10, minus the area of this. Now be careful, it's pi r squared, so it's pi, and then my radius, it gives me the radius, it's 2.5. So 2.5 squared divided by 2. And then when I did it all with a calculator, which you can do, I got 50 minus that. And again, sometimes they will have that be the answer. They have the answer as a pi term and then a regular number. And that's okay. It just depends on what the selection is. And sometimes they want you to figure it out. In this case, it'd be about 40. Okay, next one, you have a little donut. You got to find the area of the donut. So you can see that the area of the shaded part, which is the donut, would be the area of the big circle with that little circle cut out, minus the area of the small circle. Area of the big circle, pi r squared. Well, if the diameter is 12, the radius is 6. Same for the little one. If the diameter is 8, the radius is 4. Worked out the math, and I got 20 pi. And again, sometimes they might just want your answer to be in pi. Otherwise, you'll work it out, and it's going to be about 63. Okay, one more. Here we have a rectangle and not a half circle, but a quarter circle. You see that? This would be like half a circle. And if I could draw the whole thing, it'd be a whole circle, but that would be 1/4 of it. So the total area of the shaded region is going to be the area of the rectangle minus 1/4 of a circle. Do the math again, same way. It's 8 times 4 is the whole rectangle minus pi r squared divided by 4. Well, here my r, my radius here, remember this would be just the radius. This would be the 4. 4 would be the radius of that circle. So I have 16 pi over 4, which would be just 4 pi, which that could sometimes be your answer, or you could use your calculator and get your 19. Okay, we'll do more in class.